Good evening, Marshall Reddick investors, and thank you for joining us this evening while we talk about the Clarksville, Tennessee and Oak Grove, Kentucky market. This is Kristen Tabar, your hostess with the mostest, and you guys are really in for a treat tonight. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to jump right into it because we've got a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. So first off, a little bit about me, and again, welcome tonight. Like I said, my name is Kristen. I'm a realtor and an advisor here with Marshall Reddick Real Estate. You get the pleasure of seeing my family up on your screen there, my son and my daughter and my lovely husband. And I like to show this, give you guys a little bit of an opportunity to get to know me. So if you see me at the grocery store, you can feel free to say hello. A little bit about me. I got started with Marshall Reddick about 3 years ago. As it would turn out, my husband and Scott Pastel, our VP, went to high school together. We got reunited at the 10-year high school reunion, and it turned out that all of us had an interest in investment real estate in one capacity or another. And Scott had recently I'm sorry. Let me rewind here. I'm having a blonde moment. Scott and Ross Nelson had recently purchased the company and had taken ownership of Marshall Reddick, and Jason and I were in the beginning of our investment portfolio building, and so we were looking to do exactly what Scott's company was helping people to do. So we started as investors, and I actually got the position as an advisor shortly thereafter. So I'm happy to say that I get to practice what I preach. I have my own portfolio and my own experience that I get to share with my clients along the way as well. And let's skip on over to the sound check. Want to make sure that you guys can hear us. So go ahead and type in your little question field. Let me know you can hear us. Let me know you can see your screen. And also want to get a sound check from our guests tonight, Miss Malika Womack and Mr. Scott Pastel. How are you guys doing tonight?
Great. I'm excited. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having everybody.
Good.
Thanks for having everybody on.
All right. Thank you, guys. I'm starting to see some of you guys saying that you can hear us. So excellent. We're going to go right ahead and move along here. And news flash, guys, some really, really exciting news. As some of you may know, Marshall Reddick Real Estate opened an office about a year ago in San Antonio, and tonight we're really, really excited to announce that we have done the same thing in Clarksville. So now we are able to really take care of all of our clients, including you guys joining us tonight, from start to finish and for the life of your investment in the market. This is our new location, and Malika, I'm going to bring you back on so you can talk a little bit about the new office and where you are, and take it away.
Yay! Everybody clap your hands and stomp your feet. It's official. Marshall Reddick Marshall Reddick is here in Clarksville and Oak Grove, and it is great. It is awesome. We are, our office is located really close to the mall. It's on Wilma Rudolph Boulevard. So, you know, if you ever want to come out here to Clarksville and visit, see where we're at, come and look at your property or look at the area before you buy, come on, welcome, welcome, welcome.
I also heard a rumor, Malika, that your fried chicken might be the best in the state.
I'll tell you what, I'll give the Colonel a run for his money.
Personal experience, Scott Pastel, and as Malika and Kristen know, I'm flying into Clarksville next week, and I will be out there the entire week. I do live out here in Newport Beach, California, where our main headquarters is, but very excited to be visiting Malika in our office out there. In just a little, in just a few days, yeah, and I'll be the real judge of that.
I got the Colonel. I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
So, guys, as I was mentioning just a moment ago, now that we have our own office in the Clarksville market, we really have the ability to take care of our clients from start to finish. So your initial conversation is with me or your advisor. We decide that Clarksville is the right market for you. We connect with Malika, who's our very own Marshall Reddick agent now. She is going to be in charge of writing our contracts, negotiating on our behalf, and from there, right to the property management team that's in office as well, specializing in your single family and multi-unit investments out there. So we really now have the ability to give our clients a one-stop shop. And for those of you who own property in the market already, you know that for the last 20 years we had been working with a great team that provided a great service, but now we're really happy to have our own control over that and really make sure that all of our clients have an excellent experience from start to finish, and then again for the life of your investment out here in the market. So Malika, going to bring you back here. Have you introduced yourself again for those of you who don't know, haven't worked with you yet? Tell us a little bit about yourself and about our manager out there as well, Josh Simmons, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, well, for those of you who know me, I am Malika Womack. I have been working with Marshall Reddick now for like the last 5 or 6 years and helping, advise and be your agent and all that good stuff when you're ready to buy your investment property, overseeing and managing your property. I'm licensed in Tennessee and Kentucky, and now I am officially a Marshall Reddick agent. So that's very exciting. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. And, I'm just head over heels just happy. Josh Simmons, he is the property manager. I work side by side with him, helping him, bringing him up to speed. I know my owners. Most of the owners I've met in person or we've talked over the phone, for so long that I know what you like and what you don't like with your properties. And now I'm able to share that knowledge with Josh so that he can be, like your go-to person and help manage your baby and take care of your property in your absence. So we got a great thing going here in Clarksville.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And to piggyback on the property management, as you guys all know, I have the pleasure of having Scott Pastel with me on tonight's presentation also, and he is our VP of Management, and really, he knows this like the back of his hand. So it's my pleasure to have Scott on to talk a little bit about what the fee structure looks like and what you guys can expect when you use us for management out in Clarksville.
Absolutely. Well, as you know, this is my favorite area of the business and one that I'm most closely involved in. Looking like a lot of new folks and some familiar names on the webinar. Some of you that have known me know that my focus in the business is the VP of Property Management. So I work closely with our property managers in Los Angeles, Orange County, San Antonio, and Austin, Texas, and then now, of course, Clarksville, Tennessee. So as Kristen and Malika mentioned, Marshall Reddick is a licensed broker in the state of Tennessee and Kentucky. We have an office out there. We're currently today at this moment in time now managing over 50 properties for our clients, and that is growing on a very rapid basis. Marshall Reddick is a full-service property manager in Clarksville, Tennessee. That means that we have a trust account where we hold our security deposits. We have a property management software that our tenants can use to apply for properties, make rent payments online, submit maintenance requests, and then our landlord clients get to log into their account as well to view their income, expenses, run reports. Josh Simmons is the main point of contact in our Clarksville office for property management. Malika and Josh work side by side. Josh's role is to screen and evaluate the background checks and credit reports, coordinating all maintenance and repairs, doing the move-in and move-out inspections for our properties, and everything in between. So what you're looking at on the slide in front of you is just a basic fee structure. Marshall Reddick Real Estate has a very, very simple fee structure when it comes to managing our clients' properties. We have a monthly management fee, which is only charged when the property is rented and we're collecting income from the tenant. that fee is 7% of the monthly income collected. I would say that that's definitely on the lower side of the industry standard, and we do not charge a management fee during a vacancy. Under that, what it says is that there is a $75 minimum for single family homes, a $50 per month minimum for a units within a multi-unit building. So basically, if the rent is below about $1,000 or about $1,070 a month, and it's a single family, it will be that $75 minimum. For a leasing fee is just a one-time fee for us to place a tenant in a vacant property, and that fee is 50% of 1 month's rent, with a $450 minimum if it's a single family, and a $300 minimum if it's a unit in a multi-unit building. What does the leasing fee do? What does that money go towards? Well, it goes towards us doing the photography, scheduling any make-ready repairs, the advertising, and we advertise on all the major websites: Zillow, Trulia, HotPads, Realtor.com, Craigslist. We're on all the major websites. We do a phone screening when somebody calls on the ad. We do showings, in-house showings. So Malika is also our leasing agent, not only just helping our clients buy the property, but also being accountable to lease it as well. So as a buyer and investor in one of these properties, you're going to work with Malika on the purchase, and then you're going to continue working with her on the leasing side as well, with Josh involved in helping you onboard to our property management. So we have a very, very dialed-in system. We pride ourselves on responsiveness and communication. We're very selective about the properties that we recommend to our clients. We only recommend properties that we are comfortable managing ourselves. So there's a lot of accountability in working with us, and not just the sales, but also the management. Our job is nowhere near done after we close escrow on property that we sell. That's pretty much really just the beginning, because we are also actively marketing it, showing it, and placing a tenant in a property that we feel is a good long-term tenant. We don't charge any fee when the tenant renews the lease. It's a minimum 12-month lease. So at the end of that term, if the tenant is going to renew and we can bump the rent up a little bit, we do not charge any fees for the tenants renewing their lease. So really, it's just the monthly management fee and the one-time leasing fee. And then lastly, it says no upcharge on maintenance. This is very, very, very beneficial. For those of you that are brand new, you may not really be familiar with the conflicts of interest that some property managers have in making money on repairs and maintenance. Marshall Reddick does not make any revenue from repairs and maintenance, meaning all of the repair costs go directly to third-party independent contractors that we recommend and we utilize for our service. But we do not make money from those repairs, no maintenance coordination fees. And again, all of the contractors we use are recommended third parties. So in a sense, we're only making money when you're making money, and we're not making money when you're losing money. And that is the perfect recipe for a successful property management relationship. I'll keep the webinar going for now. I think I have another slide on the next page. And Kristen, if you just want to click it a few more times until it's. So what I mentioned is these are some of the key aspects of what separates a good property manager from a bad property manager. Of course, there's bad property managers out there. I mean, there's bad people in every industry, you name it. In property management, there's also some good property managers. So what does Marshall Reddick do to separate ourselves from other property managers? First and foremost, starting from the top and then going clockwise, we utilize technology to our benefit, and we utilize software to allow us to keep track of the files and data on every property. We use it to build out our efficiencies and allowing tenants to pay online and allow us to send the rents to the owners. Our software allows us to be able to click a few buttons and find out anything we need in terms of income, expenses, maintenance, repairs, and all of that is available on your portal. So our use of technology allows us to scale our property management business to continue growing and growing by operating as efficiently as possible. I mentioned that we do not have a maintenance conflict of interest. I recommend not working with property managers that charge for coordinating maintenance and repairs. Again, it's not in your best interest if they're making money from maintenance and repairs. Cost versus service, I believe that we embody kind of that perfect blend between service and cost and providing the best value to our clients. Marshall Reddick does not look at property management as a profit center. And I'm speaking as one of the business owners of Marshall Reddick, we look at property management as a break even. And the reason that we do property management is to be able to provide excellent service to our clients, because we don't feel like they would get that from other property managers. And we have, over the years, seen different styles of different property managers, and it is what has pushed us to be able to provide property management directly to our clients. So right off the bat, it's not a profit center. It's something that we do so that we can maintain the relationship with our client, in hopes that when they refer people to us or eventually sell or buy more property, that we have gone so far above and beyond their expectations in the property management that they don't even bat an eye. Next is responsiveness. We have company protocols in terms of how soon or how quickly our employees respond. You'll find that when working with Malika or Joshua or Kristen or any Marshall Reddick employees, we pride ourselves on responsiveness and always communicating to our clients proactively or reactively in a very timely manner. We love bragging about our online reviews. We have about 200 reviews on Zillow. We have about another 60 on Yelp. And property management is one of those things that you may see a lot of inconsistency from one company to the other. So I always recommend looking up a company on Yelp, on Zillow, to see what tenants or landlords are saying. And lastly, we don't have a cancellation policy. If you buy a property with Malika and Marshall Reddick is the property manager, we have a completely open and flexible management agreement. We do that to build comfort and confidence with our clients, rather than trying to lock them in with aggressive penalties or cancellation fees like a lot of other property managers have. So that's just a little bit about our management, but I know we've got some more exciting stuff to cover. So Kristen, I'll let you take it back.
Thank you very much, Scott. And like you said, that's management in a nutshell. And if you're interested in learning more, you can call me or email me directly, and my information will come up a little later on the screen. So moving right along though, like Scott said, we've got a lot of exciting stuff to get to. So quick overview for those of you who are joining us for the first time this evening. These are all of our markets across the U.S., and where you see the red outline, that is where Marshall Reddick has an office and agents and management of our own. So we're really excited, as I mentioned earlier, to continue to grow and continue to expand. And someday in the very near future, we won't need the red boxes anymore, because we will have an office in every single market. So little overview again, just so our new folks and returning folks can get a little refresher on where the Marshall Reddick offices are. So hopping right along into Clarksville, why we love this market, why was it at the top of our list to open an office? Well, there's a few things that stand out in this particular area over some of our other markets. Number one is that their homes are newer. So a lot of our inventory was built in the late 80s or early 90s and after that. And so the benefit of having a newer home is the reduced potential for maintenance and big ticket items. So, if a home is newer, if it's been renovated or updated in any way, then you're looking at not having to sink in as much money on repairs and maintenance for, the first few years of your ownership. So we really like the newer homes in this market. In addition to that, we see lower holding costs. You'll see in our property examples, the purchase prices are a little lower in compared to some of our other markets. And also you'll see a lower amount in taxes and a lower amount of insurance that you're going to be having as a fixed expense on a monthly basis. So you're spending a little less for a newer home, you're having lower holding costs, and we still see a really strong cash flow in this market as well. And that's because, as we're about to show you, we have very reasonable price points, and we see really strong competitive rental amounts that make the ratios work and make the cash flow very favorable in this particular market. Again, coming back to what we offer here, it really is the full spectrum of property and inventory now. Since we've recently opened our office there, we have the ability to offer our clients a little bit more. So tonight we're going to see 3 different options, and we really can speak to all of our clients and investors now. So the first is going to be our Marshall Reddick Rent Ready option. And the Rent Ready program is one that offers our clients a property that has been updated, renovated, and it's one where we take on the financial risk. We purchase a property that's in need of some work. We do that work and stabilize the property, place a tenant, and turn around and offer it to our clients for a deal where they don't have to put in the sweat equity on their own, and they already have a property that's ready to rock and roll with a tenant. So as soon as you close escrow, you're collecting those rent checks. This is the most passive way to purchase a rental property in this market. Next is going to be a wholesale option. So what this is for our clients is a way for you to get into a property under the market value in a capacity where it needs work. So what does that mean? That means that we offer our clients the opportunity to purchase the property wholesale, manage the construction, manage the rehab, and refinance and hold, and hire a management company to then place a tenant and stabilize. So basically what this is the option for our clients to take on the risk and build in the sweat equity on their own. So this is going to be hands-on. This is going to be a different scenario than the Rent Ready option. Not for everybody, but it is an option for those of you who are looking to be a little more hands-on, have some more involvement, and finally, the standard MLS sale. So Malika is a licensed realtor in Kentucky and in Tennessee, which means that she also has access to the local MLS, which is their multiple listing service. And that means that if you don't see something that's already on the Marshall Reddick website, we have the ability to look at the broad spectrum of inventory and find something that fits within your criteria, that fits exactly what you're looking for. So this is going to be your standard MLS sale, and we have the ability now to offer this to all of our clients dependent on your own personal goal and what you're looking to accomplish. So for those of you who have been on several of our webinars before, we decided to switch it up a little bit, and we wanted to jump right into the exciting stuff and talk about the properties on the front end. We want you guys to see a couple of different options, a couple of different offerings that fit within each of the categories that I just talked about. And since I'm sure you're tired of listening to my voice, Malika and I are going to share the responsibility on the properties, and so we're going to hop right in. This first option is a Marshall Reddick Rent Ready property, and so Malika, I'm going to flip it back to you to talk a little bit about this one.
Yes, this is one of my favorites. They're all my favorites because 9 times out of 10 I've seen them and I'm like, oh, this one's really nice, that one's really nice, but this one is really nice, and it is under contract. But we just want to kind of show you like the Marshall Reddick Rent Ready properties and what all they entail. A lot of the properties that we do have rent ready that are rehab. My husband is very skilled. He's HVAC. He does electrical work. He does plumbing. He does carpentry. He does a lot of different things. So he is hands on in helping to get the properties ready for the tenants and for the buyers that the investors that want to invest in the property. This property here is in Clarksville. Um, I just put this property after it went on. It wasn't even online for 20 minutes, and I had an offer. So an investor immediately bought. Wanted to put an offering on on the property for a contract, and now I'm advertising it for rent. And I've had about 17 to 20 calls within like 2 hours time because it's just that desirable. And this market is so on the upcline right now where it's booming, and you got so many military families moving here that everything rents really quickly. Can you go to the next slide, Kristen? Let's look at some pictures.
Yeah, and I just wanted to touch on this real quick. As Malika said, this one's already under contract, but the reason that we wanted to show all of you is because, and I'll let Malika take over, but we wanted to show you what a rent-ready property looks like, and a traditional Marshall Reddick rent-ready is going to go through a similar process as Malika is going to describe here as we go through the picture. So take it away.
So with the rent-ready, we really take pride in, how it looks, to look at what a property looks like when we first see it to at the finished product is like amazing. New paint throughout the property, new flooring, new appliances, light fixtures. Like it gets all the bells and whistles to get it to that Marshall Reddick rent-ready status. If we go to the next page, you can see more, pictures of like the kitchen area. Those are the stainless steel appliances. The countertops have been reglazed. So a lot goes into these properties. It's not just the standard throw some white paint on the wall and put in some, brown carpet and that's the end of it. Like we really take pride in how it looks, and we want it to be desirable, not only for the investor that's, making the investment of buying the property, but also that tenants will want to live in. When they see this property online, they're like blowing my phone up. They're calling. They want to know, what do I need to do, like to move into this property.
All right, thanks, Malika. We're going to head into another rent-ready property. This one is currently undergoing that rehab. So the completion is scheduled for mid-January, but before Malika gets started on the location and all the other awesome key points about this property, I do want to let everybody know that if this is something that interests you and you'd like to reserve it, we are able to take a contract and a deposit so that you can reserve it for yourself while it's undergoing the rehab. So that being said, Malika, let's talk about Wooddale.
Okay, so Wooddale, like as Kristen just mentioned, it is undergoing all the rehab right now. So it's going to look awesome once we're finished with it. And I get the pleasure of helping to pick out different little light fixtures and colors and the flooring, deciding on if we want to put carpet all throughout the house, do we want to do half and half. So, that's what we do. That's what I enjoy doing. I really enjoy my position here with Marshall Reddick, being able not only to be a realtor and an agent for, the investors and the buyers and the sellers, the ones that even want to sell their home, but just to make something come together. I enjoy that. This property is located in Clarksville, and I feel like it's going to be really, really easy to rent, as most of our properties are, because we try to pick properties that are in good areas that people, want to live in. They like the schools. They want, when you're looking at thinking about tenants, that's moving in a home, a lot of times they want to live in that home for a certain reason, whether if it's for, I just like how the house looks, or I want my child to go to this school or that school, or it's close to something that's centrally located. So that's Wooddale. Wooddale is really close to Post, the back way. So it's like 10 minutes and then you're at Post. So I feel like this property is going to be really easy to rent once we get it rehabbed.
I also want to point out that it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, and it has a garage. And you guys will see a lot of properties there. Some of you on the webinar tonight, I know already own some inventory out in the market, and not all of them have garages. So this is something that a lot of our investors see as a plus. This is one of my favorite properties as well, this one at 316 Wooddale. So we will move right along to the next one, and this is 1989 Timberline.
Timberline is located in Oak Grove. This is another property. The rehab has not started on this one yet, but it will pretty soon get started on this one. And it's close to Post, super close to Post, because it's right there in Oak Grove. And it's going to be one of those properties that is going to stay rented all the time because of where it's located at. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It doesn't have a garage, but the great thing about this market is it does not have to have a garage in order for it to be desirable, and it does not stop anything with being rented, being able to lease the property up. Now, don't get me wrong, you do have certain tenants that have like, oh, I want a property, my house has to have a garage, or we have to have a fence because we have a pet or whatever, and that's fine. But it's not really an obstacle when it does not have a garage. So I don't want you to get deterred or anything if you discouraged if it by it not having a garage. So this one is going to be another Marcia ready, written ready once we get the rehab done with this one.
Thanks, Malika, and thanks for touching on the garage and clarifying that for all of our listeners. I also wanted to point out that this pro forma actually gives you guys an idea of what a cash purchase looks like in this market on a rent ready. So you'll see that initial repair cost is $0. And this is one of the lower priced assets. The purchase price is under $100,000. And so we do have a lot of clients at this price point that will pay cash. And we wanted to show you what that option looked like. So if you're interested in seeing the pro forma for this property with conventional financing, I'm happy to send you that link directly, and you just need to shoot me an email or give me a quick call, and I can make sure to hook you up with that if you're interested. So moving right along to our next property, we talked a little bit about the wholesale option here, and wanted to show something that is currently available in that capacity for those of you out there who want to take on the risk of the rehab on your own. So Malika, I'll let you talk a little bit about this property as well.
Okay, so this property is also, it's actually right around the corner from Timberline. So it's, Oak Grove is only but so big, so everything is close to each other, and it's all close to Base. Base is right across the main highway of Fort Campbell. Property looks great. It needs some TLC, so you will have to put some, if you buy it as a wholesale, you will have to, bring it up to rent-ready status. But, it is a great property. It's going to stay rented because of where it's located at. It's 50-50. You have some clients that want to live on the Tennessee side, and then you have some clients that want to live in the Oak Grove. So if someone was to ask me what's the percentage, I would tell you 50-50. Half of the clients want to live in Tennessee, and they don't want to, move anywhere else. They have to live in Clarksville, and half of them want to live in Oak Grove. So this is just another property that, has a lot of potential. If you want to do the rehab yourself and be responsible for the rehab, I'm happy to help you find vendors or contractors to do whatever is needed to get it up to the rent-ready status. But it's a cute little house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's already some upgrades that was the previous owners had put, in the master bathroom. So it's a nice property for anyone to invest in.
Sorry, thanks, Malika. Real quick, I also wanted to add too, for those of you who are looking at this property and think this is something that I could be interested in, but I don't want to take on all the risk of a wholesale. If this property is not picked up in that capacity by one of our clients, then we will begin the rehab and we will then sell it as a rent-ready product. So at that point, you will see the price change because we will then put it on the market as a retail sale because we've taken all the risk on ourselves and done the work to bring it up to standard for a tenant. But do keep that in mind. This is something that interests you. Again, just let us know, and we can talk about the process in a little more detail for the wholesale option. All right, and finally, the last type of property that our clients are able to acquire in this market is your standard MLS sale, where Malika would write an offer for you. We'd negotiate with the seller and come to an agreement, close the transaction, and there you go. So Malika, I'll let you talk a little bit about this one as well.
This is a great property. As Kristen mentioned, it is a resale, but it has been completely rehabbed. So it's got, new flooring, new paint. It looks really good on the inside, and it's very desirable. I have people calling me right now wanting to rent it, and I'm like, it's for sale. It's not for rent. Of course, if anyone was interested in this property and wanted to put an offer in on it, before the close of escrow, I would assist in helping to place a tenant. But it's vacant now. But it's a lovely home. It's in a really good school district, so that house is going to go quick simply because of people want that school district for their children. Houses in Clarksville, one of the things about Clarksville that makes people want to live on the Tennessee side is that there's no state income taxes. We don't pay any state taxes, so you don't have anything taken out of your check. So that's one of the benefits when VA buyers or military buyers are looking to buy a home. They might kind of want to stay on the Tennessee side because of that. But I have no doubt that a week from now, this property will not be available. No doubt in my mind.
Thank you, Malika. All right, so moving right on to the data on the metro. You can see here, one of the things that's really great about this market is, really a lack of volatility. It's a very steady eddy market. You can see in 2008, 9, 10, where a lot of markets looked like a Six Flags roller coaster ride, and the values were just all over the place and crashing at crazy rates. It stayed very flat. There wasn't a huge crash in the values. It remained very stable and very steady, and again, the trend is upward, so it's been a very strong market for our owners who are currently invested in the area. And you can see the median home price is $135. So there's a huge range of excellent inventory that's under that purchase price. It's going to be in really favorable areas, attract a really good tenant, and really be a good performing asset for a real estate portfolio. So now that we've gotten through the properties and you guys are really excited about the different options that are available, we want to go ahead and do a quick poll question. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this for us. And everybody just take a couple seconds to let us know what kind of property stood out to you. What is it that you're looking for? And maybe you need to think about it a little bit after kind of seeing what the options are, now that there's a little bit of flexibility in the area. and you have a few more options. So I'll give everyone just a couple more seconds to give us an answer. And your answers are private, don't worry. We're not going to post them anywhere. We'll give you percentages, but no names attached, I promise. All right, so we'll close it out in just a few seconds. We've got almost everybody. All right, and 3, 2, 1, and done. So let's share. Let's see what everybody said. Very interesting, wide range. 85% are looking at that more passive, hands-off, rent-ready approach where they're not managing rehab or getting their hands dirty. 10% are interested in taking on that risk and getting a good deal. And 5% are looking at the traditional MLS listing. So very cool. I'm glad to see we have the spectrum here, and really looking forward to learning more about all of those answers from all of our friends out there. Thank you guys for participating. And we'll move right along. So I wanted to add this slide here. I know we've already talked about the different areas and everything, but we wanted to give all of you viewers an idea of where the two cities were in relation to each other. So we'll hop right along to that. Malika, do you have anything to add on this slide before I get into the map?
No.
Okay, then I'll let you take away a little bit about the area, the location, proximity to Nashville, all that good stuff.
Sure. So I'm sure everyone has heard of Nashville, Tennessee. I think they're calling it Cashville, Tennessee now. And of course, Nashville is booming, and Clarksville, we feed off of that energy. We feed off of the boom effect. Clarksville is located about 40 miles north of Nashville, right down I-24. And then Fort Campbell or Oak Grove is like right up on top of Clarksville. So that's where we're located at. So part of the military base is on the Kentucky side, and part of it is on the Tennessee side. That's how close Clarksville is to Fort Campbell. Most of the properties that we're interested in are located on the Montgomery County side, but you do have some of Clarksville is Stewart County, but we really don't have any properties or anything out that way. So our properties are going to be in Montgomery County, which is Tennessee, and then Christian County, which is Oak Grove, Kentucky. And the Christian County side is just strictly the city of Oak Grove. Christian County also runs up to like Hopkinsville and Pembroke and different places like that. But we kind of stick with, Clarksville and just the city of Oak Grove. Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Fort Campbell is the second largest military base, and they're still adding on to it. Every time I turn around and I'm driving down Fort Campbell Boulevard, I see something new that they're extending and expanding on the military base. That's one of the reasons why our properties are able to, stay rented pretty good, because of, just the clientele coming in and out of the military. Now, we have more to offer than just military, but that is a big factor in being able to successfully keep our properties rented. Some of the new companies that have started here in Clarksville that are bringing a lot of jobs to the area is LG Electronics. That's the newest company that has recently, and I don't know if they're all the way open, but I know they are hiring. And so, they're having a lot of job fairs and a lot of opportunity with LG. And then Hancock. Hancock is really big. A lot of people moved here and kind of like relocated here because of Hancock. So that brought a lot of jobs to the area as well. So, you know, we already had like Train. Train was the HVAC company. And so we do have a lot of people who, you know, work for Train that rent through us, and Accabono, some of the other tire companies. But LG and Hankook are the biggest two. Google is still in the game. Google is fairly new. It's been here maybe like a couple of years now, and I think they decided to expand. So a lot of, you know, once again, bringing people here that are relocating from like some of the bigger cities like Nashville and Memphis and Chattanooga. They're moving here because of their jobs, you know, that they have at Google or LG or some of the other factories.
I'll take this one. I'll give Malika's voice a break here. So we compile market data packets for all 16 of our markets, and you can find those on the website. Definitely take advantage. We spend a lot of time and money putting these together, compiling all the information, pulling from several different sources, and putting it all in one neat packet for all of our clients to get all of the detail on the market in one easy place. So you can find it on the website. The link is here for you guys to download that. Like I said, it's a free download. And, you know, some clients like to see numbers, charts, graphs, statistics. What is there for fun to do in the area? What do people do for work? What percentage of who works for what industry? All of that's going to be in this packet for you, so you can take the time to read through that if you'd like to. And again, if you have any questions or concerns or anything to that nature, you can always reach out to myself, or you can reach out to Malika directly as well, and we're always happy to answer any questions you have on the area. So what's next? I'm really excited that we have a lot of time here, because what we're going to talk about now is a little bit of what my role is and what I bring to the table, and then we're going to open it up to some of your questions. So if you've been sitting back and you've been nervous to type your questions in, or you just haven't had any until now, feel free to start typing those in, and we'll try to get to as many of them as we can. But in the meantime, what's next? For those of you who are new or haven't taken advantage of your complimentary consultation yet, you can do that. If you don't already have a real estate advisor, my phone line is always open, and I would love to speak with you or any of your friends who you think might benefit from a conversation. A little bit about me: I did graduate from Cal State Long Beach. I have an expensive piece of paper now hanging on my wall, as my degree is in something that has absolutely nothing to do with real estate. As I mentioned before, I practice what I preach. My husband and I own property in 4 different Marshall Reddick markets, and we work with the Marshall Reddick management teams and agents in 3 of those 4 markets. That's, you know, a benefit that I bring to the table is that I can share with all of my clients firsthand what my experience is like with our management team and agents on a personal level. I'm a proud working mommy of 2. You guys saw the photos of my kids a little earlier. I may be a little biased, but I'm pretty sure they're the cutest kids around. And I've, in the last 3 years of my employment here, I have helped to close 185 transactions for my clients, and those are across all of our markets, including a high number of them with Malika in the Clarksville area. We work very well together. Everything is very seamless. The communication is open. All of our clients are copied on emails. Malika and I like to text, so we do text message chains and really make sure that you guys know what the next steps are, what's expected of you, what's expected of us, and everyone really works as a team to make sure that everything goes smoothly for you. So those of you that are thinking about a consultation, what can you expect on said phone call? So really what my job is to act as a mentor and as an advisor for my clients. So it's going through this circle of the who, what, where, when, why, how of your own personal investment strategy. Everybody's goals are different, everyone's financials are different, and everybody has unique criteria that they're shopping with, if you will, when they're looking at real estate inventory. So we're going to talk about your goals. We're going to talk about what your options are when it comes to financing. Are you a cash buyer? Are you a private finance buyer? Are you looking for a conventional loan? What's your time frame? What type of property are you looking for? So, you know, when we're looking in the Clarksville market, what that looks like is, are you looking for a rent-ready property? Are you looking to get your hands dirty and put that sweat equity into the property? You know, what are the criteria that you're looking for? And finally, it's introducing you to all the key players. So that's bringing Malika into the conversation. It's bringing in our conventional lender. It's bringing in our insurance pros, and really hooking you up with the team that you need to have a successful transaction. And then, of course, the management as well, so that the life of your investment is a successful one. So what does that look like? What does planning a strategy look like? Well, maybe it looks like this. So this is my own personal investment portfolio. And as you can see, it's taken 12 years to get to the point that we're at today. And that's because we've sat down and talked about, you know, how many properties per year are we going to purchase? How many markets are we going to purchase those properties in? What percentage of income are we saving? What can we spend? How are we developing this portfolio? And how are we going to diversify it? Things to that nature. And these are all things that we talk about on that consultation and then in the subsequent phone calls as well. One property doesn't make you a millionaire. It takes a portfolio, and it takes a well thought out and well executed portfolio. And so that's the value that I bring to the table. That's the value that Malika brings to the table. When we're looking at properties in Clarksville and Oak Grove, you know, her market expertise is what we're relying on to, you know, take that leap and make that offer and ultimately start to create a portfolio in that market, so that eventually your guys' map will look like this, and you can, you know, start to see that income coming in on a monthly basis and start to think about maybe working less or taking more vacations or, you know, whatever the case may be. As I mentioned, everyone's investment goals are different, and everyone has a different reason for wanting that supplemental income. So I'm going to leave my information up here for you guys. Like I said, if you want that market data packet, if you want to see some more financial options on some of those properties, whether it be finance, whether it be cash, I can send you those directly as well. And we've got a few minutes left. Malika, how are you feeling about answering some questions?
Oh, yes, I'm all for it. I actually have a couple of things I want to say. So, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So, like, I'm not a scripted person. Like, you know, the slideshow is fine and it's good, it's informational. But I would really love it if you are interested in this market, or even if it's a different market. Like, if you just have a question, or, you know, you want to talk about property management. Maybe you you want to invest in this market, and you really don't know what to think of the property management because this is your first time investment. Call me. I want to talk to you. I want to go over the truth of everything that you're going to, you know, encounter and experience in this market, because like Kristen said, like, this is my baby. Like, I know this. This is what I enjoy doing. And I enjoy working with Josh and showing him the ins and the outs and learning each tenant and each property. And, you know, I know he tells me all the time, he's like, you remember all this stuff like the back of your hand? And I'm like, kind of, sort of, you know, it's you know, when you have nurtured something, you get kind of attached to it. So just please, like, shoot me an email or call me, text me, and I will respond to you, and I want to hear from you.
And I can definitely vouch for everything that Malika just said. She remembers clients from so long ago, clients that aren't even currently working with advisors because their previous advisor has moved on to other companies or other things. And she's asking me, do you remember this person? And I'm like, Malika, how do you remember that person? So she really does, it's not just blowing sunshine. She really does care about all of all of you and, all of my clients that work with her and all of my partners' clients that work with her, all of my colleagues. She's responsive. I was joking with Scott earlier about how I was texting her last night at 10 p.m. Pacific time, which is 2 hours later in Clarksville, and she was replying to my text messages. So she's always on that phone. She's always replying, and really just goes above and beyond to offer our clients the best service possible. So speaking of offering good service and easing some inquisitive minds here, Malika, I have a question about what the eviction process looks like in your particular market. It's a little different everywhere. So can you give us some key points on that?
Sure. So in Tennessee, the eviction is a little different than in Kentucky. So in Tennessee, we have an attorney that's involved, and you pay as the owner. You will pay for the filing fees and whatever the attorney fee is, because they go to court for us. They represent us. The only time I would have to step in, or Josh would have to step in, is if we have to go to trial. So Tennessee, it is a little longer process because it's a little bit more like detailed in what they do in the process. So you look at it probably around 30 days or so, sometimes more than that, because sometimes a tenant might want to contest it, and they might have, some excuse that, with the reason why they couldn't pay rent or et cetera. So it might, we have to go to trial. If you go to trial, it goes a little longer. In Kentucky, it's a little easier. Kentucky is basically, we can handle the evictions ourselves. I'm a notary, so, there's a form, and I, sign the form, and I mail it in, and they send me back a court date, and we go to court, and the judge normally gives the tenant 7 to 10 days max to be, out of the property. And in Kentucky, we can actually take, if they're not out on the day that they're supposed to be out, we actually can go in with the sheriff, and whatever items is left in the property, we can just toss it out on the curb. And that's that simple in Kentucky. In Tennessee, you actually have to store their stuff for like 48 extra hours. You have to give them 48 hours to come and collect their items. So that's kind of the difference between Tennessee and Kentucky evictions. And like I said, give me a call, send me an email, and I'm happy to talk further with you about that.
Thanks, Malika. One more quick one before we go. All of the inventory that was showcased tonight were single families, and I have a question from Aubrey about duplexes, triplexes, and quads. And she's asked if you can comment on those. Do you manage any? How do those differ? Is there a benefit or, pros and cons of having those larger units? Anything that you can speak to about those types of properties would be great in these last couple minutes that we have.
Okay, absolutely. We do manage multifamily properties. The ones that we manage, they are, we try to get the nicer ones, the ones that are more desirable, that, they're going to stay rented up, and they do. And the only problem with investors is that there's just a shortage for them, and the ones that are online, either they're that's on the MLS, they're extremely expensive, and they're just not worth what we're going to be able to get as far as if you're looking for cash flow, because you're not going to be able to pull the rent in for the amount that they are. So whenever, we can find that's in a good area, that's, priced decently, that we're going to be able to get good rents for, the investors jump on it. They go quickly. So we do manage multifamily, and, they're very desirable. People love it because they're easy maintenance for them. They don't have to worry about trash, and the tenants don't have to worry about, the lawn service or anything like that. That's provided by the owner. But it's just hard to come across them, at a good price.
Thanks, Malika. That's perfect. And to our guest, Aubrey, who asked that question, if there's any other specifics that you were hoping to hear, go ahead and email me or give me a call, and we'll loop Malika in, and we'll get all of your additional questions answered. One more quick one before we go, because I've seen this pop up a handful of times. What's the property tax rate?
Normally the property tax is going to run you about 1% of your purchase price. That's the best formula. That's been the most accurate formula that we've used over the years. So, it's a $100,000 single family home that you buy, look at about $1,000, maybe $1,100, somewhere in there is going to be your property taxes for the year.
Perfect. Thanks, Malika. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's 7:32, so I really wanted to get you guys out of here at 7:30 on the dot. But thank you so much for sticking around. I'm glad that we got to answer a few questions and hear from Malika and Scott tonight. Malika, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's past your bedtime out there in Clarksville. You're a couple hours ahead of us.
I never sleep.
Really appreciate your time.
You're very welcome. Have a good night, everyone. Always up for that phone call or that email. Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Malika. Have a great evening, and thank you to all of our viewers. Have a great night, guys, and we look forward to speaking with you.